What's up, guys? Welcome to Gwhisky. My name is Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and every once in a while throw in other whiskey-related content. Today, we're going to be going through a list. I've got 5 extremely affordable single malts that I think are worth trying. Stick around. Alright, so it's a list today. We're talking about no age-stated single malts, and I've got 5 good ones here for you. These are not just entry-level whiskeys. They are entry-level, but we're looking at the very low end of entry-level, so we're keeping a really close eye on budget today. And I should say this up front, I do like my good whiskey. I don't want to be a snob here, but usually I'm okay spending a little bit more for a better experience. But that's not to say that if we look at the very cheap end of entry-level, there aren't some decent whiskeys to be had. That's what we're going through today. Which is a roundabout way of saying that a lot of these whiskeys are not going to be my favorite whiskeys. I don't think these whiskeys are going to be necessarily the best whiskeys the brand has to offer, but all of them are very budget friendly and they offer us a solid single malt experience. These make for great casual sippers, burner whiskeys, whatever you want to call them. They're not fancy, but they get the job done. Because I know a lot of you guys out there, you're just like me, you just want a nice whiskey. No snobbery, no pretentiousness. Thank you, Valentina. So we got 5 great, or maybe not great. The first one's great. 5 really solid whiskeys. I might put great in the thumbnail just because I'm a little rascal. 5 really solid whiskeys that sell for roughly 35 US or less, or let's say under 30 pounds in my market, although that might be different for you. You guys can let me know down below how much you're being asked to pay for these. Obviously, markets are different, and we're very lucky here in Taiwan. We have very low prices on our single malt whiskeys, and I'm sure not all of you will be that lucky, so I'll be curious to see how much you guys are being asked to pay. Again, this list is strictly for no age-stated drams. I do plan on doing another very budget-friendly whiskey list that includes age-stated whiskeys. For now, we're sticking to the no age-stated stuff, so let me know if you guys have any suggestions, or if at the end of the list you think I left anything out, let me know what it is down below. Anyway, it just so happens that I have reviewed all 5 of the whiskeys that make appearances on this list, so what I'll do, I'll include the original score that I gave them in my reviews, and I suppose that's it. I think it is. So yeah, guys, I do have a mystery pour in the glass, by the way, thanks to Valentina, so make sure you stick around after the list. I'll tell you what that is. It's my favorite whiskey in this video, and yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, so kicking things off at number 5, we've got the Tibetan Legacy. Now this is not an impressive whiskey unless you look at it from a value perspective, because where I live, this is one of the cheapest single malt scotches that money can buy. Maybe not the cheapest, but cheap. I remember when I first tried this stuff, I really wasn't expecting much. I was just hoping it would pass for drinkable, and guess what? It is. It's got a nice nose. The palate is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We do get a little bit of astringency on the finish, so it's not perfect, but it's good. I would describe this stuff as simple, it's pleasant, it's fine, it's not the best, but it'll do. Which ironically is exactly how my girlfriend explains why she's still with me. So yeah, this is one of the cheapest OB single malt scotches that I can think of off the top of my head. I originally gave this 83 in my review, so it's not a love, but I do like it, especially when we factor in that good value. It's a simple whiskey, it won't challenge you, but you can just sit back, relax, knowing that you stayed on budget. So coming in at number 5, Tibetan Legacy. Coming in at number 4, we've got a whiskey that pretty much fulfills the same purpose as number 5. It's one of those very affordable entry-level whiskeys that you can just kind of turn your brain off and enjoy very casually. This one is the Glenmorangie Chardonnay cask. Glenmorangie actually has a bunch of very affordable entry-level releases. They have obviously the Chardonnay one, they have a peated one, they have an Elgin Classic, which I guess is just straightforward bourbon matured. There's a port one, there's a Cabernet one. They have a bunch, and they're all decent. I'm almost arbitrarily going with the Chardonnay one because that's the last one I had. They're all fine. And what's cool about Murray is they actually have that full range of choice, that full range of flavor at a very low price point. So maybe you're into peated stuff, they've got that. If you want wine finishes, they've got that. Straightforward bourbon, that's the Elgin Classic. So they've got something for you, and it's going to be affordable. Are any of these great whiskeys? No. I'll admit, I've never had a Glenmorangie that totally blew me away, that I thought was incredible. Oppositely, I've never had a Glenmorangie that was bad, terrible, offensive, anything like that. They all kind of fall in that neutral territory. But again, when you factor in the price, if you're just going for something casual that you're not going to think about too much, these are good options. I'm going with the Chardonnay. You can pick your poison. Number 4, Glenmorangie budget line. Okay, so for number 3, we're starting to get into the better stuff. This is a whiskey that enthusiasts genuinely enjoy. Like everything else on this list, it is very budget friendly, but it's the first whiskey on this list to actually give us good specs. So this one comes in at 46.3%. This one is the Deanston Virgin Oak. And yeah, it really shouldn't come as any surprise that the top 3 whiskeys on this list are the 3 whiskeys that have 46% or higher. This one I initially scored, I think, 84 in my original review, and I'm sticking with that now. It's still an 84 for me. Very good stuff. When you factor in the value, it's very much the low end of entry-level pricing here in Taiwan. I imagine it is for you too. I think this one's pretty affordable across the board. Pretty decent. We've got classic virgin oak flavors here. We've got big vanillas, big honeys. It's not a challenging whiskey, but it isn't quite as mindless as number 4 or 5. This one is one you can genuinely dig your teeth into a little bit, thanks to those specs, thanks to those great flavors. So not a great whiskey, but a solid budget offering. Number 3, Deanston Virgin Oak. Okay, coming in at number 2, we've got a classic. This one's probably tied with number 1 as the most expensive whiskey on this list. But the great thing about this list is even the most expensive whiskeys are still very much not expensive as far as single malts go. This is for the peat heads. Coming in at number 2 is Laphroaig Quarter Cask. Now, I admit I've been very on again, off again with this whiskey for a long time, romantically. It's not a whiskey that I love, but I do genuinely like it. What's nice, aside from being affordable with this one, is it gives us a really good ABV. It's got the highest ABV on this list. This one comes in at 48%, and that makes a difference. And of course, that ABV does give us a nice intensity. This is not a whiskey you buy if you're looking for like subtlety, complexity, nuance. It's a budget Laphroaig, so we're signing up for big, punchy, medicinal peat, and this one delivers. Personally, I like this more than the 10. Now, the 10 arguably has better flavors, but it's also neutered. Now, the 10 for you guys in the States will come in at 43%, lucky you. For the rest of us, it comes in at 40%. So even though the 10 and the quarter cask are roughly the same price, at least they are here, the quarter cask is going to be my go-to. I believe it's the cheapest OB eyeless single malt, maybe tied with Bunnahabhain 12. Either way, very, very friendly pricing and a solid whiskey. So one that I recommend. Coming in at number 2, Laphroaig Quarter Cask. So my number 1 might not be a huge surprise to a lot of you. This one is widely considered one of the best bang for buck whiskeys out there. Personally, pretty much every whiskey enthusiast I know enjoys this one. Obviously to varying degrees, but they all like it. This one is the Laphroaig Rioja Cask. Now, unlike the Laphroaig, which is a much simpler, more straightforward blast of peat, this one does give us a healthy dose of peat, but we've also got the Rioja cask finish in here, so we have this extra layer of fruity sweetness. And Laphroaig itself as a distillate has this very specific funk that for me comes off a little bit lactic. That's in there too. It all comes together beautifully. This one is easily my favorite whiskey on the list so far. This is a whiskey that I actively try to come back to. It's really good. You know, stuff like the Tibetan, stuff like the Glenmorangie, even the Deanston, solid whiskeys. But this one, this is a legit banger. In my review of this one, I scored it 87, but I gave it a very warm 87. Listen, this is great specs, great flavor, good intensity. It's all there. And coming in at $36, roughly 29 pounds, this is a great bang for buck buy. Incredible value. Definitely want to check out if you haven't. Number 1, Laphroaig Rioja Cask Finish. Alright, so that was the list. That's 5 great, no age stated, very budget friendly offerings. Obviously, it's going to be an incomplete list. I'm sure you guys have your own suggestions, so feel free to let me know down below what those are. Keep in mind, no age stated, and let's try and keep it under 35 bucks or roughly 35 bucks or below, under 30 pounds. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I am putting together a similar list, but this time for age stated expressions, so you guys can let me know what you got for that as well. So actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's age stated, non-age stated. I just want to know about your go-to budget buys. And finally, for those of you who stuck around to find out what the mystery pour is, I've got Bruichladdich Classic Laddie, because of course I do. You guys know I love this one. This one was my whiskey of the year last year in 2022. This one costs about 33 US or roughly 26 pounds here in Taiwan. You guys might have to pay a little bit more, but for me, this is so worth it. This is legitimately one of my all-time favorite affordable whiskeys. So definitely one that's worth checking out if you haven't. And I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, I do have the Patreon. Otherwise, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.